If you could only have 8 exercises for the rest of your life, these would be my top 8. And let me just tell you up front that the barbell bench press did not make the list. So let's hop into my top 8 exercises for you to build muscle if you could only have 8 for the rest of your life. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, like I said, we're going through my top 8 exercises for you to build muscle. If you could only do 8, these would be the most important 8, in my opinion, for you to build full body strength and full body mass. I want to hear what your list is. I'm interested to hear what exercises that you would go with if you had to pick 8. Obviously, I know that there is some sort of opinion and personal preference that goes into choosing these 8 exercises, but I'm interested to hear. So let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what your 8 exercises are that you would pick if you could only have 8 for the rest of your life. Before we hop into it, guys, I do want to announce that we just dropped these charcoal FitGrind crew neck hoodies. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, and you guys will be watching it later this week, but these are available in limited quantity. These are the comfiest crew neck hoodies that you will ever wear. I promise you, you're going to spend all fall, all winter in one of these. So if you're interested in checking it out, head over to fitgrindformula.com. I'll leave the link in the comments and description below. Like I said, we had a limited quantity of these, so we did do a bunch of these. So if you're interested, go check it out. Thank you guys for the support. Let's hop into today's video. So we're not going to waste any time. I'm going to start off, and this is going to be my first 3 exercises. We're going to categorize them into the first 3, and you knew that these were going to be on the list somewhere. My first 3 are going to be the squat, the deadlift, and the dumbbell bench press. I mentioned earlier that the barbell bench press did not make my list, but I still am incorporating the big 3, your deadlift, your squat, and your bench press. But I'm just going to opt for more of the dumbbell variation, and I'll tell you why in a second. These exercises are going to be the best 3 exercises that you can overload, and no matter what your goal is, whether you're looking to build muscle, if you're looking to build strength, if you're looking to lose body fat, you should be doing these 3 exercises in your program or some variation of these 3. I love the barbell deadlifts. I love the barbell squat, whether that's a front squat or a back squats. And I prefer the dumbbell bench press just because over time, I do find that if you do too much barbell bench press, you start to develop a little bit of imbalance from right to left. I do like the dumbbell bench press. I like the unilateral function of that. And I also like the added range of motion where you can come down, get a good stretch on your chest, and press up and in. And I do think it just helps you build a little more muscle versus the barbell bench press where we're going to build a little more strength. But to each their own. Like I said, my first 3, squats, deadlifts, and bench, 3 exercises that no matter what your program is, they should be in there somewhere, and you should be trying to get stronger at these from week to week. And that's really the gist of this list is all of these exercises are compound movements that you can focus on getting stronger because, as I've talked about many times before, the only way that you're going to build muscle and get stronger is that you have to consistently place an overload on your muscles to force the adaptation that you're trying to see. So if you're trying to build muscle, you can't just come in and do the same thing every single week or the same weights, the same reps. You have to progress. You have to pick exercises, track your weights, get stronger from week to week. The squat, the bench press, the dumbbell bench press, and the deadlift are 3 awesome exercises that if I could only do 8, those are definitely in my list. My 4th exercise, and is also probably no shock, my 4th exercise, and again, I'm going to opt for a different variation than you might think, is the chin-up. I'm going to opt for the chin-up grip because you're going to be able to train a little bit more biceps. You're going to be able to still effectively train your lats, and you're going to be able to still overload your back muscles while also overloading your biceps. And I personally think that chin-ups are a great exercise. You can get stronger at them from week to week. And once you're able to do 6 to 8 to 10 reps, you can start to add some weight, get a weight belt. You can go get a chain from your local hardware store, get a clip, and you can do weighted pull-ups with as much weight as you have access to. It's a great way that you can continue to get stronger because a lot of times I think that people get stronger at pull-ups, they get up to like 8 to 10 reps, and then they just never add the progression of adding weight over time. And even if you don't have access to a weight belt, you can hold a dumbbell between your feet. You can get really creative with overloading the chin-up. But again, is a great exercise that if you're only picking 8 in your list, it's really hard to justify doing some sort of bicep curl or some sort of isolation movement. So with this, you're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You're going to be able to train your back muscles. You're also going to be able to train your biceps as well. So fourth exercise, the chin up, I went with that over the pull up just because you're going to be able to train your biceps at the same time while training your lats. My fifth exercise is everybody's least favorite exercise, and it is the Bulgarian split squat. And I say that because it's a love-hate relationship with Bulgarian split squats, but they were so good at unilaterally training the legs and also just building mass and building strength. And they're just downright hard. They're just a hard exercise. No matter how good a shape you get in, they're just hard no matter who you are. And I think that's a great exercise that you need in your list. It's going to allow you to train both legs independently of each other. It also is going to allow you to train somewhat of a lunging type motion, where I didn't pick a lunge in this list. Lunges are definitely great exercises, but if I had to narrow it down to 8, I opted for the Bulgarian split squat without adding a lunge in this list, because you're going to have a similar movement pattern. You're going to have the similar unilateral function that a lunge is going to give you, but you're just going to be able to emphasize that leg a little bit more and de-emphasize the other leg. So I personally love Bulgarian split squats. I think they should be in everybody's program. They are in almost every one of my clients' program, and they absolutely hate me for that, but you're welcome for the leg gains. It's one of those exercises, it's such a good exercise that you need to do. You need to consistently get stronger at. I would really try and lift in that like 6 to 10 rep range on these and just try to get stronger over time. If you get to the point where you can't hold the weight you can lift with your legs, you can always throw a bar on your back and load them like a back squat. And again, the ceiling is really the limit with this one. The sky's the limit with this one, to where you can load this really heavy and really build big, strong legs with this exercise. My sixth exercise is an overhead press, and I'm going to opt for the barbell overhead press. I really think that this is a great movement that you can build a lot of strength on. It's a great overhead movement that you can overload the shoulders. And overall, standing up, you're also going to have to use your core, and you're going to have to be functionally strong as well, to where if you don't have the ability to keep your core tight and stay neutral while you're pressing overhead and you're extending your back and you're just losing core tightness, you're going to injure yourself in this one. So it forces you to stay really rigid. So that's also a great benefit if you only have 8 exercises. I do have a core exercise later in this list, but this is going to give you some indirect core that doing really heavy overhead presses while maintaining neutral spine is really going to help you build some core stability and some core strength. So overhead press, definitely in my list of 8, that if you could only have 8, it's got to be in there because it is such a good exercise that you can overload over time. My 7th exercise, again, is another awesome exercise that you can overload, and it is a dip. And again, I think most people, once they start to be able to do like 10 to 12 dips, they kind of just keep doing that over and over again. Grab a weight belt, grab a dumbbell, find a way to overload your dips, because they are such a good exercise to develop your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps. And you can emphasize or de-emphasize the chest or the triceps. So say that you want to overload your triceps. You're going to keep a little bit more of an upright torso. You're going to maybe take a closer grip, and you're going to focus on a strong lockouts. Or say you want to emphasize the chest. I just recorded this in last week's video where I did chest dips. You lean forward, get a good stretch across your chest, and then focus on pressing just like a bench press or a push-up type motion. So you can tweak the exercise just a little bit to train the specific muscle group that you want. So there is some variety in it, and it is a great way to overload the triceps specifically while also training other muscles. And that's something that you'll see within this list is the exercises that I'm picking are not things like lateral raises or calf raises or chest flies, because yes, those are great exercises, but if you only have 8 that you could do for the rest of your life, they got to be big compound movements. So they're going to train multiple muscle groups within each exercise so you can get the most bang for your buck out of each exercise. And the dip is no exception to this. My 8th and final exercise is for the core. And this is such a simple exercise, but I picked it because it has a high potential for overload. It has a lot of variation that you can do with it. And it's just going to be a functionally strong exercise. And this exercise is a hanging leg raise, or any sort of variation of a hanging leg raise, because you could start off by doing just hanging knee raises. You could progress to straight leg raises. You could progress to toes to bar. Once that starts to get easy, you could hold a dumbbell between your feet. You could do windshield wipers. There's so many different variations that you can do with hanging leg raises. And I think that's really, if you're creating a list of 8 exercises, you're going to want some variety over the course of your life. So this is going to give that to you while also directly training the core. I know a lot of times people think that you don't have to directly train core. I'm a huge advocate that you do, not only for visual adaptations and for aesthetic purposes, but also for functionality. If you don't have a strong core, all the exercises that we talked about before, your deadlifts, your heavy squats, your heavy overhead presses, you're not going to have the ability to stay tight, and it's going to cause you to get injured somewhere down the road. So picking good core strengthening exercises, not just sit-ups and crunches and stuff like that, is going to help you develop a strong core as well as help you aesthetically develop your abdominal muscles, and you're going to get the best of both worlds. So my list of 8, like I said, starting off with the big 3, the squat, the deadlift, the dumbbell bench press, the overhead press, pull-ups, dips, Bulgarian split squats, and hanging leg raises. This is my list of 8 that if you could only choose 8 for the rest of your life, these would be my 8 exercises that I would get the most bang for my buck out of. I want to hear what your list is. I'm interested to hear what exercises that you would go with if you had to pick 8. Obviously, I know that there is some sort of opinion and personal preference that goes into choosing these 8 exercises, but I'm interested to hear. So let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what your 8 exercises are that you would pick if you could only have 8 for the rest of your life. Like I said, guys, go check out the new charcoal FitGrind crew neck. I promise you, you're going to spend all fall and all winter in this one. It is the most comfiest sweatshirt that you've ever been in. So link is in the comments in the description below, fitgrindformula.com. Thank you guys for the support. And I'll also leave you a couple videos on the top of the screen here to check out next. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in today.